For 2 years, Russian bombers operated with near impunity, dropping glide bombs, leveling cities, killing defenders by the dozens. Ukrainian defenses couldn't stop what they couldn't see. Then, in early 2025, something changed. A Swedish aircraft appeared in Ukrainian skies, and suddenly, Moscow had a problem it cannot solve. The air war over Ukraine has entered a new phase, one that military analysts are calling a fundamental shift in the balance of power. For the first time since the invasion began, Ukraine possesses what NATO commanders consider absolutely essential for modern warfare: airborne early warning and control. AWACS. The aircraft in question is the Saab 34OAEW, a Swedish-built radar plane that looks deceptively ordinary. A modified turboprop. Nothing like the sleek fighters that dominate headlines and capture public imagination. But appearances deceive. This unassuming aircraft carries technology that transforms everything beneath it into a coordinated killing field. And Russia knows it. Russia fears it. Here's what you need to understand. This isn't just about one airplane. It's about connecting an entire arsenal into a single, seeing, thinking, reacting network. Before the Saab arrived, Ukrainian forces fought partially blind. Each system, every F-16, every Patriot battery, every Iris-T launcher, saw only what its own radar could detect. Isolated fragments of a larger picture. Disconnected. Vulnerable. Now, they share one vision, one mind, one purpose, and that changes absolutely everything. Let's examine what makes this aircraft so significant. The heart of the Saab 340AEW is the Iri radar system, mounted in that distinctive elongated pod sitting on top of the fuselage. This active electronically scanned array can detect targets up to 450 kilometers away. Aircraft, missiles, drones, even ships at sea. Nothing escapes its electronic gaze. Operating at approximately 6,000 meters altitude, a single Saab 340 can simultaneously track up to 1,000 airborne targets. Hundreds of ground targets, all processed at once, all prioritized, all shared. But impressive range isn't the critical advantage here. It's the look-down capability. Ground-based radars suffer from fundamental physics. Terrain blocks their view, buildings create shadows, forests absorb signals. The curvature of Earth itself limits their horizon. Low-flying threats, cruise missiles hugging valleys, attack drones skimming treetops can slip beneath detection until it's far too late. The Saab eliminates this problem entirely. It looks down from above. The Earth becomes transparent. Nothing hides in terrain shadows. Nothing exploits the radar horizon. Those Shahed drones that terrorized Ukrainian cities through endless nights? Detected far earlier now. Those cruise missiles skimming at treetop level toward power stations? Visible. Trackable. Killable. Early warning means early response. Early response means interception. And interception means survival. For Ukrainian civilians huddled in basements, this aircraft represents something profound: hope. But detection alone doesn't win battles. Information must flow, instantly, securely, accurately, to those who can act on it. This is where Link 16 becomes decisive. Link 16 is NATO's tactical data network. A secure, jam-resistant, encrypted communication system that allows aircraft, ships, and ground forces to share battlefield information in real time. Think of it as a military internet, hardened against interference, operating at the speed of light, spanning the entire combat zone. For months, serious doubts existed whether Ukraine actually possessed this capability. Those doubts ended definitively in May 2025. When Kyiv confirmed a licensing agreement with NATO for the Combat Reporting Center System interface, the critical software backbone that makes full Link 16 integration possible. Consider what this means in practical terms. The Saab 340 detects a Russian Su-34 bomber approaching its release point, preparing to drop glide bombs on Ukrainian positions. Within seconds, not minutes, literal seconds, that precise information appears on the cockpit displays of Ukrainian F-16 pilots scrambling to intercept. Simultaneously, Patriot batteries receive targeting data and begin tracking. Iris-T systems update their threat picture automatically. NASAMS crews know exactly where to look and when to fire. The entire defense network responds as one organism. sensing together, thinking together, killing together. Before this integration, Ukrainian systems fought as disconnected individuals, each seeing mere fragments of the battlefield, each reacting alone to partial information. Now they operate as a unified force, anticipating threats, coordinating responses, overwhelming attackers through synchronized action. Sweden explicitly refused to deliver these aircraft until Link 16 was fully operational within Ukrainian forces. The fact that the Saab 340 now flies combat missions over Ukrainian territory confirms one crucial fact: the network is live and functioning. So what exactly does Russia lose here? Remember those glide bombs? The weapons that systematically flattened Avdiivka block by block? That turned the border town of Vovchansk into unrecognizable rubble? That killed Ukrainian defenders by the dozens every single day, making fortified positions into mass graves? Those bombs require aircraft to deliver them. Su-34 fighter bombers, Su-35 multi-role fighters, aircraft that must approach the front lines, aircraft with pilots inside, aircraft that bleed, aircraft that burn, and those aircraft just became visible, trackable, targetable, huntable. Russia's entire ground offensive strategy depends on one brutal, effective tactic: bomb Ukrainian defensive positions into absolute dust, then send infantry waves to occupy the shattered ruins. Glide bombs made this murderous calculus possible. Cheap guidance kits bolted onto massive Soviet-era bombs, released from aircraft flying safely behind front lines, precise enough to destroy hardened bunkers and fortified buildings, devastating enough to level entire city blocks in single strikes. At Avdiivka, surrounded defenders reported 60 glide bomb strikes per day during the final siege. 60 massive explosions every day. No defensive position, no matter how reinforced, could survive that sustained, methodical annihilation. The city fell. 5,000 square kilometers of territory followed. The problem for Ukraine was mathematically simple and operationally devastating. They couldn't stop the bombers. Ukrainian F-16S carry AN/AP G-66 radars effective to perhaps 70 to 100 kilometers against fighter-sized targets. Russian bombers typically release their deadly payloads 70 kilometers behind the front line. The geometry was impossible. To intercept, Ukrainian F-16S would need to fly directly over active front lines, straight into the concentrated teeth of Russian air defenses and fighter patrols. Suicide missions, guaranteed losses, unacceptable mathematics. The Saab 340 completely breaks this deadly equation. Operating 200 kilometers safely behind Ukrainian lines, untouchable by Russian ground threats, the aircraft's powerful radar still reaches over 200 kilometers beyond the front into Russian-controlled airspace. Bomber pilots preparing their attack runs are detected, tracked, and targeted long before Ukrainian F-16 enter any danger zone. The intercepting pilot receives precise coordinates before his own radar glimpses anything. He launches AMRAAM missiles at maximum effective range. The Russian pilot, focused on his bombing run, never knows death is approaching until his warning systems suddenly scream. For the first time since February 2022, Ukraine can hunt the hunters. 2 aircraft won't end this war. That's the honest, necessary assessment. Ukraine received 2 Saab 340s. 2. Continuous coverage of a 1,000-kilometer front is mathematically impossible. Aircraft require regular maintenance. Crews need mandatory rest. Operational security demands unpredictable flight patterns. AMRAAM missiles still have finite range, roughly 120 kilometers maximum. F-16S must still approach the combat zone to achieve kills. Real risk remains for every pilot. Russia won't stop flying, won't stop bombing. But the conditions have fundamentally, permanently changed. Russian pilots must now release their weapons significantly further from intended targets, dramatically reducing accuracy, increasing bomb flight time, giving Ukrainian defenders precious additional warning. Every extra kilometer of standoff distance directly degrades combat effectiveness. And occasionally, increasingly often, those pilots won't return home at all. Russia built its entire offensive strategy on air superiority it no longer possesses. 2 Swedish turboprops didn't just change the air war, they may have changed the war.